Well, here we have the U.S. debt clock, and I know you've seen this every day for like the last several years. And, well, I don't really look at it too much, but people post this. Hey, it's going up to 17 trillion. It's 16 trillion 900 million, right? So it's 900 billion, 16 trillion 900 billion. Well, it's almost like I think what they think it is. It's going to be like a Chevy. If you drive it long enough, it goes back to zero. So that's what they're probably trying to do. I don't know what the logic is, but I have to say, as Rome burns, silver's going to soar. And this is Bill Clinton's house in Arkansas. One of his former girlfriends coming over to pay a visit, and she was cleaning a car. Actually, I'm kidding about that, but anyway, in retrospect, I never really was a fan of Bill Clinton. But looking back, I'm nostalgic for Bill Clinton now that Obama is in office. It's that bad. So anyway. As basically, we got some really wasteful spending going on here because, this is a story that's very recent. It's from July 13th, 2013. It looks like they spent millions of dollars. The National Institute of Health spent over $3 million to study the health of risking dating Mexican prostitutes. So while we're like running on fumes and fueling the government by debt, they're fueling studies like this. Now, George Soros has his bets in place now because of things like this, and I bet he bet his bet based upon sometimes little information like this: the Mexican prostitute study, which is the prostitutas mexicanas and their non-commercial male partners, to see whatever kind of sexually transmitted diseases they have or anything. But the government is falling apart, and They're making studies on Mexican prostitutes. So what the hell are they doing? We just looked at the debt clock. The debt clock is almost $17 trillion. So like I said, I don't know what the hell they're doing. I guess what they're thinking of like a 59 Chevy. You drive it long enough, the odometer goes back to zero. So maybe that's what they're trying to do with the debt. But it isn't going to work like that. I'm going to tell you, it's not really going to work like that. And what's going to happen is Rome is going to burn. Obama's sitting up here on the top just watching the fire as the peasants are cooking in the freaking cesspool down below him. This guy is like amazing. So anyway, it looks like there's some other things coming up, but I know silver took a real blast today. And so much for the fiat pumpers, it's like around 23. It's still bad. I mean, I think it should be 123, but anyway. It appears that Mr. George Soros has placed a large bet through the S&P puts, and basically he's betting on the markets going down, but it's like not a bad bet as we speak today. What's going on? Markets are down 225 points. The metals are up. The metals are screaming upward, right? And it's really the underlying thing that's going to be driving the future of metals is this clock. It's not going to be like a perfect barometer. They're going to get ahead of each other. And, it's like one asset class is not going to, you're not going to be able to take a piece of gold and buy up a whole city. There's a limit. It doesn't go to the whole moon, right? But it's like this debt clock is telling you what's going on with your toilet paper currency. And, we're forced to use toilet paper currency and to transact any kind of business in the United States. But, like I said, they're going to go looking at this like a 59 Chevy. And they want to be running it till the odometer goes back to zero, and it's not going to work. It's like Rome is going to burn, and the peasants are, they're going to get fried. So, I tell you the truth, I wish, as they're wasting all kinds of money on this stuff, the National Institute for Health, spends $3 million. I don't know. Maybe Bill Gates needs to fund these type of studies. Take like $3 billion dollars, and the government workers, at least while they're freaking the country's falling apart, they could study, the effects of prostitution on the economy or whatever. Actually, this is kind of a waste of money, big time. But, it's like, what the hell? I mean, what are they spending all this money for? The effects of prostitution in Mexico, and it's American money that's being spent. And you wonder why things are falling apart. But that study got funded under the Obama administration. I would have thought it would have been something for Bill Clinton, but, I guess not. I guess not. So as Rome burns, You know, keep your silver, because little common sense. What happens to fiat paper in a fire? It burns up into nothing. What happens to silver in a fire? It just gets hot, it cools down, and you can still use it, right? That's the way I look at it. Very simple. But George Soros, in fact, has made a big bet that there's going to be a major plummet in the S&P. So, you know, the guy knows what he's doing. He's not stupid. He's not stupid. You know, I was talking about those 6 Hindenburg effects for the last, I talked about 2 of them back, a while ago, and now there's 6 of them, 6 Hindenburg Omens. So the Chevy, our American economy is not going to get reset back to zero like a Chevy. It's wishful thinking. But in the meantime, everybody's going to be driving and having a good time. And Bill Clinton has his lady over here at the house. I'm just kidding about that, but I know Bill, this would be Bill's style all the way, man. That's why I kind of like this guy in some ways. He's got the cool hooch over there in Arkansas, the 59 Chevy convertible, and the babe with the pink dress, So anyway, it's like I'm a little bit nostalgic for the times of Bill Clinton. I thought those times were pretty bad, but now under Obama, it's like you're taking all the bad aspects of George Bush and all the bad aspects of Bill Clinton and combining them and then putting them into one person called Obama. It's that bad, man. It's that bad. So anyway, let's hope we can restore our country back to an earlier time, like when his 59 Chevy was brand new. And all women look like this without tattoos. I'll put that in there. And, just go on it for a happier time, because basically that debt clock is going to reset, just like this 59 Chevy. It's going back to zero. That debt clock, at one point in time, they're going to default on this, and those numbers are going to go click, zero. And guess what? If you got currency, you're going to have a hard time with that. And you know what? If you have silver and gold, you're going to be looking good. So hang on. As Rome burns, silver's going to soar.